course, a major part of Instagram's functionality is importing photos from the camera. And that is something that we likely want to do in several of our apps. So I'm going to show you the process in a new project, which I'll call Photo Import Demo. And all the usual settings. There we go. And starting off a photo import is actually very simple. We just create an intent to jump to what's known as the media store to get media from the user's phone. So all we need to do in the onCreate method is create a new intent, which is going to be a new intent, and this time we're going to use intent.action pick to allow us to pick from the media store. And to specify that we want to pick from the media store, we use media store .images .media .external content URI. And then we just use start activity intent in the usual way. Then we'll just add in the media store class, run the app, and this will then jump us to a place where we can choose images from the device. Now we will need, of course, a way of displaying the image. So let's jump to our main activity layout, and we'll bring in an image view. Which I'll drag over to replace the text view. Here we go. So for now we'll just have a little friendly Android man there. And we'll make it a full screen. Image view. There we go. And then let's jump over and see how our app looks. So you can see we've got the option to choose an image. Now, we don't have any media on our device yet, so we need to get around that problem. If we were on a real phone, we could use capture picture, but on the vast majority of simulators, that just gives you something like this, which you can then capture if you want. So it's not that much fun, but it will prove the point, and we'll use these images to import to our app. So of course right now, if I choose that picture, it will then go back to the app, but it doesn't do anything with that picture. So now we need to update our code to actually do something with the image. And the first thing that we need to change is we change our start activity method to start activity for result. So now we're going to expect a result from this activity, and as we've done before, we give a request code. So I normally just choose a number 1. That's to identify this particular intent, but it's going to be fine for us because there's only one intent anyway. And then to do something when the intent is finished, we use the onActivity result method. There we go. And you can see we've got some intent data there, which is what we're going to use to get our image. So we can check if we want to see that request code is equal to 1, but we're pretty sure it will be because that's the only intent in our app. More importantly, we want to check that the result code is OK, or result underscore OK, and that we've got some data, because it's very much possible that the user cancelled the request, and in that case we shouldn't try and display the image. Then we're going to create a URI, which is much like a URL, essentially a link to our image. I'll call it selected image, and this is going to be data, i.e. this variable up here, dot get data. Then we're going to convert that to a bitmap image, so we'll call it bitmap, and we do this by accessing this particular URI or location in the media store. So we use media store.images.media.getBitmap, and then we use this for our main activity, .get content resolver to get that content, and then the image that we want to get is selected image. Now that of course could fail, so we surround it with try and catch, and then if we've been successful we're going to add it to our image view. So image view has an ID of image view, we can leave that as it is. So let's create an image view. It's going to be an image view from find view by ID, resources.id.imageview, and then we'll take our image view and we'll set the image bitmap to our bitmap that we've just created. So now we've got all our code, but we do need to ask the user for permission to access their media store. So a couple of things required. First off, we request the permission in Android Manifest. So that's the read external storage permission. And next, just like with our location earlier on in the course, we need to request the user's permission actively. Okay, so we're going to check self permission, and this time we're looking for manifest permission dot read external storage, and if that is not equal to package manager dot permission granted, then we'll need to ask for permission. So we can do that using request permissions with a new array of strings with a single value in manifest dot permission dot read external storage. And then just a number, just like our request code down there. And then we need to do something when the user has hopefully given us permission, and we do that with on request permissions result. And we can look for request code is equal to 1 if we like. And then, as before, we check for grant results dot length being greater than 0 and grant results 0 equal package manager dot permission granted. So if that's the case, then we can start our intent. So as we're going to be doing this in 2 places now, let's put it in a quick method. There we go. So now we want to get photo here, and also if the permission is already granted, we'll get photo there as well. Alright, so that's a new addition for Android Marshmallow. Just like with the getting the user's location, we have to explicitly ask for permission. So we're checking to see if permission is already granted, and if it's not, then we're requesting it. And if that's not the case, i.e. permission is granted, then we're getting the photo. And then once they've said yes, then the onRequestPermissions result method will run, and then we're checking to see if we've got permission then, and if we are, then we're running the code to get the photo. Alright, so you can see we've got the permission request here, so let's allow it. And now it's asking us to choose a picture, so let's choose the only one we have. And now when we jump back to the app, it's imported the photo for us. Phew! So rather more code than you were perhaps expecting there. But now we know how to get an image from the user. We're going to go back and do the same thing in our Instagram app. Now this one I'd recommend you follow along, because it's a little bit fiddly. We have to upload the photo to Parse server, but feel free to give it a shot yourself if you want to. Essentially, we're going to add an option to share a photo at the top of the screen there in a menu, and then if they do, then we'll request they import an image, and then we'll upload that image to Parse. So feel free to give that a go, but I'm going to start with creating a new folder for our menu, and then clicking on the menu and File, New, Menu Resource File, and we'll call this the Share menu. And it's just going to have a single item in it for now. With a title of Share and an ID of Share. There we go. So now we're going to use our menu in user list activity. So we'll start by adding our onCreate options menu method. Which, if you'll remember, uses our menu inflator. So we'll create our menu inflator, which is going to be get menu inflator. Then we take our menu inflator and we inflate our menu that we've just created, and we associate it with the menu up here that's being created, i.e. the menu at the top of the app. And then we add on options item selected. So this is what we're going to do when the share button is tapped. So we'll start by just checking to see if the item ID is the shared button. So now we want to go through this process. So I'll just copy and paste the code this time, bring in the necessary classes, And we'll also need these two methods. There we go. And we may well need to add permission to the manifest. Yeah. So let's add that one there. Read external storage. And so now when the user taps the share button, then it will check for permission, request the permission if necessary, and get the photo if not. And then once it's got the permission, it will get the photo then as well. Now, a quick thing to add, because we're supporting API versions less than 23, we're just going to surround this with a check to make sure that we're in Marshmallow. And if we're not in Marshmallow, we can just get photo. Right, so the last part then is to tell our app what to do when the photo is received, and what we want to do here is upload it to Parse. So I'm going to copy the code over from the app that we just created, and for now I'm going to get rid of this image view code, and I'm just going to log photo received. So we're just going to do a quick check because I've added a lot of code there. So make sure everything's connected up right and all is working well before we attempt to actually upload to our Parse server. And here we go. So I'm going to tap on the menu, click share. It's asking for permission, that's a good sign. So we'll allow it, and then it should take us to the media browser, and then we'll tap that. And with any luck, that will take us back to our app and photo received. Super. So now all we need to do is take this bitmap and upload it to Parse server. And this is a reasonably lengthy process, but I'll guide you through it. So we start by creating a byte array output stream called stream, which is going to be a new byte array output stream. And this essentially is going to allow us to convert our image into a Parse file, which we can then upload as part of a Parse object to our Parse server. Then we take our bitmap and we're going to compress it into a PNG format. So bitmap dot compress format dot PNG will have high quality, and we'll do it as part of the stream. Then we're going to take a byte array which is going to convert our stream to a byte array. So we've now got our bitmap compressed in a PNG format and converted to a byte array. And then we can finally convert that to a Parse file, which I'll call file, which is going to be a new Parse file, which I'll call image.png from a byte array. And essentially, to get a Parse file, you need to go via a byte array. So that's why we've got that sort of slightly fussy process there. Now, we've got more straightforward parts to do. We're going to create a Parse object which will be a new parse object with a class of image. So this is going to be where we store all our images. And we're going to have two variables stored here. The first one will be the image itself. So image and then file. So remember, file is the parse file containing the image. And then we'll also save the username of the user, which will be parse user dot get current user dot get username. And then we'll use object save in background with a new save callback. And if E is null, we'll let the user know that it's done. So toast image shared. Else, we'll give the user a nice friendly error message. Image could not be shared. Please try again later. Alright then. So let's give it a try. So now, when we import an image into the app, it should convert it to a byte array, convert that to a parse file, and then make that parse of a new parse object with a class of image, and then add the image and the username to that object, save it in the background, and give the user a nice friendly message to let them know whether it was successful or not. And then of course we should be able to see a new class over here on our parse dashboard showing the image that we've just saved. Alright, keep your fingers crossed. Let's give it a go. So here's our user list activity. Let's tap on the menu and share. And then it shouldn't need our permission this time. There we go. We can go straight to the image and select the image, and then we'll go back to the app, and you can see we've got a successful image shared. Wonderful. Let's do a refresh, and remember we need a refresh of the whole page because this is a new class that's coming in here. And with any luck we'll see our new images class and the new image that we've uploaded, and there it is. So let's click on there, and you can see we've got the username Rob, and we've got the image as well. If we tap on that, we should be able to see the image. Superb! So I hope you managed to follow along with that, and congratulations in particular if you did manage to figure that lot out for yourself. We're quite close to being at the end of this app now. We can view all of the users and we can share images, but we can't currently view the images that other people have shared. So that's what we're going to be adding in the next and final video for this section. I will of course see you there.